What is something that you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
Women who don't have their husbands or boyfriends in their bio or in their caption or not even a picture are hoes. I said what the I said. Women who say, oh my god, I hate all men. If you haven't been abused, have had a real serious encounter with the man, and you're saying you hate men but have brothers, good fathers, good men in your life, it makes no sense.
Yeah, you're an NPC if you do that as a girl. You're just spitting what the hive mind says for approval. Um, and with regards to the first point, the idea is terrible, right? Like, imagine the guy has the girl in his pictures. The girl doesn't have the guy in her pictures. So what is that saying? The girl is saying, this guy is not part of my life in a serious way. She's not pushing away other men, which means she's allowing other men to give her attention. And if she's allowing other men to give her attention, well, you can understand what that means. What it means is that the door is open for another man to try to steal. That's the idea.
Let's make it make sense. You're gonna have a son one day. It makes no god sense. Y'all the same girls who will literally be getting by a dude, have a dude change your tire, have a dude change your oil, have a dude help you. Ma'am, how about you stop doing that?
Agreed. So again, it's funny that in 2022, right, girls have to be told this, right? They don't just know this because their mom, grandma, cousin, uncle, brother told them, right? They don't know this. They have to be told, right? That having multiple men and using them for time, attention, validation, free stuff is not okay. And that it actively destroys your life in the future, because when guys see that you're using men like this as tools, they don't want to commit to you because they understand what your attitude is towards men, which is expendable, usable, manipulatable. You see? Men don't like that, so they won't take it. They'll use you for bedroom fun and then move on.
Because you hate men so much. Live by that. Women lie just as much as men, probably 10 times better. They just won't tell you that, but I will. 9
Indeed.
times out of 10, the women on here who call me a pick-me, baby, guess what? You're only calling me a pick-me because I'm not standing with you guys on your fake and I'm actually calling you out and you don't like that because you're...
That's right. So a lot of girls, again, they have this idea of the female hive mind overall, right? The female hive mind is more important than anything, right? So you'll see even girls that are in different political groups. You'll see girls that are in different religious groups. They will ally themselves if there is an issue that goes against womankind. And the reason is because these women, their top goal is to the matriarchy. Their top goal is towards femcentrism, female primary ideas and beliefs. And the reason is because that provides them with the most advantage, right? Again, women are pragmatic about their relationships, and that's why things go in that direction. All right, let's continue.
You're used to fake in your life. You wish. Correction on the whole part, y'all just don't like your man. That's why you don't post.
Literally. Finally gave in to findoms and pay pigs, and I already made thousands in 3 days. Degrading man, no... I don't even know what that means, but I assume it means dusties, like guys that don't have money. So again, guys, here's the idea. These girls in 2022, they have no idea what negative consequences these behaviors have, right? Women don't have infinite time in their life to find a man, to get a marriage, to have children, to have a stable family. They don't have infinite time. They have literally 5 years of prime time, 18 to 23, and past that they have another 5 years of, pretty good but not incredible. And then some girls, if they're obscenely lucky, like 1 in every 10,000 girls, have another 5 years. So let's say every woman in the world is extremely lucky, which they aren't, but let's say they were. You have from 18 to 33 maximum to find a man. Past that point, your life is done. If you make, in the sense of, getting a stable relationship, having a good family, having healthy children, etc. If you waste those years and have not cashed in on your luck, as it were, being born a woman, then you will destroy your life in the future. And if at any point in that 18 to 33 year period, which is about 15 years maximum, if at any point during that period, you have done anything like this, being in the spicy industry, selling yourself for money, using men, etc., like that, sleeping with multiple men, etc., then you ruin your ability to have the thing that women actually need for long-term happiness and stability and success in life. And so what happens is these girls are unable to get the guys that they were able to attract when they were younger, when they were in that period of their life, and then they end up alone with cats and boxed wine. And then they complain about where have all the good men gone. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, please hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just join any tier. Any support is appreciated. All right, let's continue. What a mess. What a mess.
I know this is going to be a hot take, so everyone stay with me.
Here we go.
Men who work out, you'll get a lot of hate, especially on TikTok, I feel like, because some of you are douchebags. But men who work out are way more accepting of women's bodies than men who don't work out. And I feel like people think it's the opposite, maybe because the guy has a great body, and so maybe you think he'd be more picky and choosy about the girl's body that he dates. No. I mean, he might want to go after a girl who also lifts because of shared interests, but it's not about her body. Honey, the men who work out, they are the closest to understanding what it's like to be in a woman's body in today's society than any other man I've...
That's not why. The reason why men are less picky about a girl's body is the following. Because men who work out are more attractive, right, to a greater population of girls, they have greater selection. Because men's bedroom fun strategy is unlimited access to unlimited bedroom fun, they're going to take girls with slightly suboptimal bodies because they have 10 other girls or 20 other girls, right? The guy who's only able to get one girl and kind of does the sniper strategy, as it were, which is just going for one girl and never, ever, ever pursuing another girl ever, those guys are going to try to go for the absolute most attractive girl possible. Yeah. And I mean, they won't get her, right? Because these girls are only going for the competitive guys anyway, but you see what I'm saying. So that's not why. This girl doesn't understand.
I've ever met, because they know what it's like to have body dysmorphia. They know how hard it is to like meet physique goals and expectations. And so those men, man, you give them a chance, like those feminist lifters, I see you.
Womanist lifters, yeah, okay. So again, what is she doing here? She's telling on herself. She's saying, I'm attracted to womanist lifters. But I mean, it's not true, right? She's just attracted to lifters. So whether the guy's a womanist or not is irrelevant. But she just wants to appear, virtuous to the camera. So she's saying, womanist because, of course, you're with the girl's imperative over all, right? Because that's kind of women's strategy, is to support the matriarchy no matter what. And so that's why you see girls across political lines, across religious lines, across age lines, they're all supporting each other. They're all, in the same group, believing the same thing, kind of like a hive mind. That's why, because it favors them the most to do that. And also because women are more about safety and security, and there's safety and security in numbers, right? Before, expulsion from the tribe meant death, especially for women. So that's why they act and believe this, even in 2022. All right, let's continue.
You go.
When he cheats on you, so you sleep with his dad and film it and put it on a spicy movie. Yeah, so cool, so strong and empowered, so powerful, so great. See, this is what these girls are putting on TikTok, right? And this is supposed to be like super attractive, super cool, super interesting, so funny, so wonderful, like, again, this is not life, right? This kind of thing ruins a girl for long-term potential. It ruins her ability to have a long-term pair-bonded relationship where she has healthy children. So again, the idea that she should want to do that and that she should be okay with doing that is ridiculous. All right. So, guys, before we look at this video, does this girl look like a video game character? Like she has so many filters on, she doesn't even look like a human anymore. She has so much makeup and filters on. I'd say that's a red flag. All right, anyway, let's read this stuff here. Bestie, no. HSV1 and HSV2 spread differently. Don't spread incorrect information. And then you can't protect yourself, apparently. If you have female anatomy, it's more common to contract because the anatomy is essentially a breeding ground, an internal canal that's... yeah, okay, all right.
Getting educated tonight. HSV1 and 2 are both spread the same way through skin-to-skin contact. They are not tested for generally in a normal STD, STI panel. You have to ask specifically for a herpes test because the way that they test for it is either in the blood or an active breakout. You have to have an active breakout for them to test for it to know which location and which strain. If they do a blood test, they will see HSV1 or HSV2 or none, but it will not tell you the location because you can have either in either location. You can shed the virus at any time even if you do not have an active breakout, but it
Okay, so again, this girl's telling on herself, she has a nose ring, she has tattoos, and more than this, she's doing attention-seeking stuff on TikTok, so we got all the red flags we need to get out of the way. And she's, moving her body in an attention-seeking way. Again, like, just like that lady said, Camille Paglia, in the previous video, women know exactly what they're doing with how they choose to dress, and then they present as not understanding that this has an effect. But of course, this girl knows if I show off as much skin as possible, if I wear a push-up bra, if I do the things that I'm doing, I'm going to get a certain kind of attention. And then notice she's also talking about something that has to do with having bedroom fun with lots of partners. Because your probability of contracting such a thing is obviously 0 if you have no previous partners, like, a girl her age should have if she wants to have, the absolute best partner possible to have children and get married and, have a stable family with. Of course, by the way, guys, related to this, the divorce rate for a girl who has no partners before marriage is 5%. Just so you know. Keep in mind what the divorce rate is in the West, just to get an idea of whether girls or guys are sleeping around more. Okay, anyway, let's go to the article here. How to become a man and the benefits of fighting for men. So many men want to know how to become men. We've not had rituals to bring men into manhood for a long time. Nowadays, womanism wants to trick men into believing that the only way to be a man is to be subsumed by feminine goals, right? Or the only way that you are a man is if you're attractive to women. And obviously, we have to avoid this. So here, let me talk about masculinity and what a real man is and what it's actually about. So men are born with no inherent value. This is true of all men. So you're born with no inherent value. Men must become in order to be successful. This starkly contrasts with women. Since women are the progenitors of the human race, their value lies in their ability to carry offspring. They have inherent value in their feminine ability to have children and carry them to term. This concept can be summarized in the phrase, sperm is cheap and eggs are expensive. Being a man is about suffering. Being a real man is about suffering. It's about bearing the burden of the world and learning to master it. Masculinity is about the journey from having no value to the pinnacle of existence. It's typified by the hero's journey. It directly parallels a man's life progression from weak and useless into a semi-competent young adult and finally into a full adult. I think I've read this article before, but it's okay. It's still useful. You are what you earn. Men are directly valued on what they earn. This can be as simple as the income they bring in, or more importantly, what he provides to the community around him. You are valuable based directly on what you provide. And this applies to your relationship with women as well. Men have to face the harsh reality that unless they're bringing value to the world, they're worth nothing. And this is why men that bring no value are homeless, right? Men are valuable, the mastering of the world. What men need to understand is that men are extremely valuable. The masculine struggle to bring value to the world is the exact reason why we have Western society or any society at all. Men struggle and fight in order to master the environment so that they can have value. As a side benefit, the world has improved in countless ways. Every possible comfort that we think of has been achieved because some man somewhere wanted to be valuable and so brought value to the table. We stand on the shoulders of giants, as Newton said. Okay, back to this video here.
It is a lot less likely to spread it if you are not having an active breakout. You can take an antiviral called acyclovir to keep you from shedding the virus and getting breakouts and spreading it, but you don't need to take them every day unless you're getting breakouts really often. Usually most people only get them like 2 to 3 times a year, so it's better.
Again, this is like, she's just telling on herself, right? She's saying that she has it. Like, again, It's like, Chad, don't worry. I'm still attractive and valuable. I'll just take a cyclovir or whatever is the idea behind this video.
To build up antibodies and immunity so you get them less.
Yeah, okay.
Fire.
I'll f you up. I'll f you up. I'll f you up.
You ain't gonna do shit.
I'll f you up, Spiky boy.
You won't do shit.
Yeah, I will.
I don't understand at all. Like, is that supposedly like what a relationship is supposed to look like in 2022? I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm not really interested in such a relationship. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Let's continue.
I'm choosing violence today.
Oh no.
What the f*** is this?
Wow, women have gone crazy. Now I understand why some women come... what? I defend men once and some of you immediately make me regret it. Right, so here's the thing. Again, it's the sisterhood over all. So the idea is if any girl ever goes against the sisterhood, they get thrown out. They get shunned, right? So that's the idea. The idea is the sisterhood overall. And ideally, again, if the girls could recruit some men to protect the sisterhood as well, that'd be great. Like this useful idiot here who's making this TikTok.
What the f*** kind of a toxic little shit do you need to be to leave comments like this under a fucking video where a feminist f***ing defends you? See, there is this misconception that I hate all men is something thrown around by angry feminists. No, men are continuously overdoing it. They have been doing it for
again, that you're able to post that or say that without getting cancelled in 2022 is very telling of the kind of culture that we live in. You're able to post, you know, men are the worst, men are trash, men are nothing, right? But if you say the same thing about women, then you get cancelled immediately. You see? That is not by accident. That's because the world is the way it is, right? So, there you go.
decades and centuries even. And if you're about to tell me not all men, shut the f*** up. New rule, if you're going to say not all men, I want to see the time that you defended women against f***ing men being toxic.
So again, what is the idea here? The idea here is this guy's a useful idiot and he believes that by aligning himself with the feminine, that he wins. He believes that by aligning himself with the feminine, that he will, you know, spread his genes and reproduce. And sadly, that is not the way that it works. Sadly, any man that aligns themselves with the feminine, what they actually do is they become useful idiots. They're used and discarded. So this guy's genes will likely not spread into the next generation, and it's because he's allowed the womanist brainwashing to, you know, fill his brain. So again, don't be this guy, right? Because if you are this guy, all that's going to happen is the girls are going to go in the comments, you go, man, you're the best, don't ever change, finally someone is supporting us. But in his personal life, he'll not have any girls, he'll not be able to get laid, he'll not be able to have a stable girlfriend, or any stable relationships for that matter, where, you know, he doesn't get cheated on, where he doesn't get disrespected, etc. So again, guys, you don't have to believe me. Try it for yourself. Try living both ways and see what happens. Try being a doormat and see what happens. Try supporting the womanist movement and, you know, acting like a useful idiot and see what happens. Try being your own man, being strong and independent as you're supposed to be, and see what happens. Try all three and see which one works best. You don't have to believe my words. Like, you can say they're bullshit. Ultimately, what matters is the effect that it has on your life. And if you're getting screwed by, you know, the things that you're doing, maybe something requires a change, right? All right, let's go on to a fake Tinder profile. Again, these ones are not real. You can just Google them. That's what I did. But the reason why we look at stuff like this is because even in joke profiles, you can learn a lot about the world, right? This is Stephanie, who's 20. She's from the University of New England, so she's from the United States. And she has long hair to pull when you know, you have bedroom fun. So again, what's the idea? The idea is when the girl is 18 to 23, instead of pursuing a stable marriage, a stable relationship, instead of pursuing children, the girl is pursuing Chad, sleeping around, and advertising herself that way. And of course, she has a picture of herself in a bathing suit. Why? Because it shows as much skin as possible. So again, Camille Paglia said it best, which is that there are non-verbal cues to bedroom fun, and the way that you dress is one such cue. So if you're doing that, that's what you're signaling. Just so you know, girls. All right, back to the video.
Unless I see that, I'm going to assume you're just a fucking enabler. You may not personally do that, or your friend may not personally do that, but not holding others accountable, you are enabling that shit.
Yeah, so the idea is this. And funnily enough, this guy doesn't seem to realize that he is the enabler, right? He is the guy that is enabling womanists to behave as they do, because they have white knights like you defending them, right? And so what happens? You're unable to spread your genes because you believe what you believe, right? But not only you ruin 80% of men that are unattractive to women. You ruin their lives too, because those men are unable to get girls like they used to when we had, enforced monogamy, when we had stable marriages, before the rise of social media. Again, these people don't see that they're part of the problem, right? Because they're so brainwashed to be aligned with the feminine, with what women want in the long term, that they don't even realize they're a useful idiot for that system, right? So there you go. Okay, let's continue.
Women are historically the most oppressed group of people all around the fucking world.
False. That is entirely untrue, and even an intersectional womanist would tell you so. No, that is actually incorrect, because by the logic of intersectional womanism, depending on the time period in history, right, different people were more or less oppressed. So no. And again, any person who's a student of history would know that, right? Who isn't studying revisionist womanist history, right?
So when they say I hate all men, they have a fucking point. This is fucking disgusting. You all need to get...
No. Just no. Just say no to attitudes and ideas like this. Because men, if you keep these ideas in your head, these attitudes, all that it will lead to is pain and misery. I'm telling you. Again, you don't have to listen to my words. Try it out for yourself and see what happens. All right, let's continue.
Okay, so what are some things you've noticed that are blatantly sexist but are so normalized within society? I'll take the bait and go first. The fact that it's so normalized for women to change their last name after getting married is beyond me.
Right. In the modern world, men and women are equal. So why should women change their last name? They should hyphenate their last name, right? Because, again, the man has no power. Even though he has to do the traditional things that he always had to do. He has to protect, provide, he has to make more money than you, he has to be taller than you, stronger than you, smarter than you, he has to have a nicer car than you, he has to be better than you in every conceivable way. Even though he has to have all those things in order for you to be attracted to him, even so, he's your equal, right? And even so, you'll still divorce him 80% of the time, take half his stuff and his children and turn them against him. So again, it's just ridiculous. By the way you can tell that a girl's a womanist in the modern world, if you want to know, is if they have a hyphenated last name. If they haven't taken the last name of their husband, well, it's really not a good sign.
Like, this is the name you got your degree with. This is the name that is associated with all your accomplishments, yet society just expects you to pack it up and change it the second you get married.
So this sort of logic applies to people that believe that men and women are exactly the same, that there is no difference between men and women inherently. See, here is why changing the last name is actually what women want to do. Because a woman wants to brag that she is the girl of a man who is worth a damn, a man who is strong and powerful and who's worthy of respect. And that is the way that a girl shows off, right? Look at the guy that I got compared to you, you're all losers, right? That's how women brag. Whereas men brag based on their accomplishments, the things that they've built, the things that they've done, right? That's the difference between a man and a woman, right? And that this girl is arguing based on this line shows that she's unaware of that, right? Which shows that she's totally brainwashed by womanism. And so there you go. So is it any surprise that men are walking away? Men are walking away because we don't want to marry a man. But so many of these girls in 2022, they think exactly like men. So why would we marry them? We don't want to marry a man. If we did, we'd marry other men. And there you go. All right, let's go on to the article. Don't call me beautiful and what to say instead, you see. So Again, it's just the idea of like girls becoming more masculine, so they don't even want to be complimented on their appearance anymore. Okay, so like many girls, I aspired to be beautiful. Oh, okay, I see. As a child, I spent hours playing with makeup. My mom would meticulously curl my hair for every picture day. From a young age, I associated beauty with exceptionalism. I mean, it is, right? Also, like many girls, my relationship to and perception of beauty became tumultuous throughout my adolescence. I worried about my weight and felt anxious about my appearance, as is normal and as everyone should do. I think everyone should watch their weight, how they look, how they appear in society, how they act. These are all very important things. These are things that are necessary for your long-term success for both men and women. On days when I didn't feel beautiful, I was filled with self-loathing. Although I knew that the superficial wasn't everything, I understood that beauty was inevitably one of the cornerstones of my identity as a young woman. Not only the cornerstone of your identity, the cornerstone of your success as a young woman is based on your beauty. You must cultivate that aspect of yourself, or else you're going to have a bad time in the future. That's just how it goes for women. I would say the same sort of advice for a man, which is you have to worry about your appearance and how you look, but more importantly, you have to worry about your accomplishments and what you bring to the table as a man. And if you're not bringing anything, if you're, a guy that sits in the corner in some room somewhere and all you do is play video games and eat Cheetos, you're not going to have a good time. You're going to have a terrible life as a man. So we should tell people the truth so that they can use the truth to guide their actions. Even if a person feels good, if it ruins their life, then I don't think it's doing them a service. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think it absolutely is doing them a disservice. One of the worst disservices you can do to a person is lying to them about what life is really like, because then they can't make informed decisions, and then they're destroyed and used and discarded by the very system that they live in, right? So the intensity of the unrealistic expectations placed on girls has justifiably received increasing amounts of scrutiny and backlash, with numerous groups endeavoring to expose the extent of the media's distortion of women and it's attempting to spread body positivity. Okay, so I get the impression that the girl that's writing this article, she wasn't one of the pretty girls, and so she's complaining about not being pretty. But here's the thing. For a girl, you don't actually have to be that pretty. You could be a totally average girl. As long as you don't eat too much McDonald's and wash your hair, you can get married. And not only can you get married, you can get married to to a man of value, to a man who's better than you in every way. You just have to not sleep around, not eat too much McDonald's, and wash your hair. I'm not kidding. And like, if you do these things and you have a pleasant personality, like, it's all good. So again, this sort of article is hurting women it's hurting women a lot. And the reason it's hurting them is because it teaches them that their beauty is not important and that they shouldn't cultivate that, right? But you should as a girl. And not only that, you should be very wise about your decision making, especially when you're at the age of 18 to 23, because that is the best time for you to consolidate on the greatest possible man you can get. All right, we're going to end the video there. Again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, leave a comment. That's what the comment section is for. Also, please like and subscribe, hitting all the notifications. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just subscribe to any tier, any level of support is appreciated. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you took the time out of your busy day to listen to the end of the video. You're awesome, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/heliosyoutube. Rumble, bit.ly/heliosrumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/heliospodcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/heliosdonations and buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for all of your support.